They're some of the deadliest attacks on the Ukrainian capital since Russia launched its full-scale invasion more than 3 years ago. Officials in Kyiv say at least 16 people were killed and more than 150 injured, many of them children, when missiles and rockets rained down on residential areas in the city. Among the dead is a 6-year-old boy. The attacks came despite Donald Trump this very week imposing a new deadline for Vladimir Putin to agree to a ceasefire. And in the last few minutes, the US president said he thinks it's disgusting what Russia is doing. More on that in a moment, but first, Jonathan Beale has our top story from Kyiv.
The menacing hum of Russia's harbinger of havoc. Dozens of kamikaze drones flying over the capital in the early hours of this morning. Some taken out by anti-aircraft fire. But others, along with Russian missiles, spreading their devastation and destruction. Not for the first time, but every attack shreds the nerves of a people who've already endured years of bombardment. Russia claims it only targets military sites, but once again, it's civilians who've borne the brunt of another assault from the air.
I tried to wake up my wife, but then there were explosions, and that was it. Our daughter is now in the hospital.
The building across from us collapsed completely. I have friends that live there. I don't know their fate. This is so sad and horrible.
Several children were wounded. At this apartment block, a 6-year-old boy and his mother were among those killed. These are the first major strikes on the capital, Kyiv, since President Trump gave a new deadline to President Putin to agree to a ceasefire within 10 days or face more sanctions. And this appears to be President Putin's answer.
Russia keeps launching such attacks even when the whole world is calling on it to stop the war. A war that Russia started, a war that Russia keeps dragging on.
And the war on the ground grinds on too. Russia claiming to have taken another town in the east. Ukraine insists its forces still cling on to Chasiv Yar. It's already clear more sanctions won't be enough to stop President Putin. Jonathan Beale, BBC News.
Well, Jonathan mentioned there that deadline from President Trump, and it's not the first one he's set for Russia to agree to a ceasefire. In late May, he appeared to set a 2-week deadline for Moscow to end the war. Then in mid-July, he threatened Russia with severe tariffs if a deal wasn't reached within 50 days. Now, on Monday, he shortened that deadline to 10 to 12 days. Gary O'Donoghue is live in Washington with more on this. Is there a sense, Gary, that these deadlines are proving a little bit meaningless for the Kremlin?
I think the president is starting to think that himself, to be honest, Clive. He's just said in the last few minutes that this deadline will happen next week and that tariffs and secondary sanctions will be imposed. He actually said, I'm not sure whether they'll have any effect or not, but we're going to do it. But this is what he said when he was asked about Russia's recent actions in Ukraine.
Russia, I think it's disgusting what they're doing. I think it's disgusting. This is Biden's war. It's not my war. But I said if I get in, I'll try and get the thing stopped. But I think what Russia's doing is very sad.
Now, the other thing, Clive, is that in the last few minutes, the president has announced that Steve Witkoff, his envoy, will go to Russia after he's finished in Israel and Gaza. We're not sure what he's going to try and achieve. There doesn't seem to be many ideas about ending this war that President Trump said he would do in the first 24 hours of his administration.